in my rush and I printed out these instead of plans. But what you guys don't have, and I made enough for everybody, is something I put together real quick for Hannah. Yeah, and I've already filled out my ratings for everybody. I have a blank one that we can all. And I have one for a copy for Hannah, because she hasn't seen this.
You should retract it.
And maybe even an extra copy of this? Wow,
This
it really was
looks like
out of my mind.
Yeah, whoever had more in the case than was Greece. Everything on the 328.
I'll print them. I don't know if he's done Sean's rating yet. I have 2 extra copies for no reason.
Yeah, my good stuff. Son was like, on the weekend.
I've never actually been up there.
I need a really long board on this.
Very nice. And I was in beautiful. Yeah, that's what I was.
She comes.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yes.
She did, I heard it occasionally, but I hadn't heard it when you called, but then I heard it the next day.
So, your voice.
I should have added October 21st.
Yeah.
We didn't approve those last time?
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
Table, at least that's what I wrote.
Oh. I didn't even look at it, because I thought we did
To
it.
November regular is what I wrote down, but I didn't put it.
We can add that. Anyway.
I don't.
Go down to the.
No, this isn't cheap. Take that one home. I'm not gonna say what changed it.
So.
You know what I mean?
Working costs nothing for the town.
Hey,
You're.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now, this is like for.
This is, so we had 32 now, the other one I had 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the time.
She does.
Plans that all departments, and this is our bonds. And then this is also utility insurance. And then this will be the
Fireman.
No, it's on the town side.
I know.
There's definitely, as far as where the funds come from, it's definitely got plenty of extra wages in the highway department. Most of the year.
Okay, so why don't we do that? So I'm gonna.
I could actually have that.
You have, I mean, I can have it.
Good, because I printed those by accident. Okay, hold on, one for you, one for him, I guess.
So that's 13.
What you see here is my best for that.
What you got?
This is good for parents.
No, that's for.
Yeah, 13 to higher.
I hope not.
Andrew's her son, her husband is.
I don't need that.
Okay, hold on.
They, yeah.
Debbie
told me that when I came in, I
Robin.
There she is.
Totally changed.
And you have to hurry and set up, but here's a. Check it out when you get the chance.
So do you?
You're scared of
The building and equipment.
Thank you, you too.
Well, how do you get up about it?
No, she's passing. Just passing the
Everything right.
Remember reading about
Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, that's fine.
Under modifications.
I know the other thing that we need to address is the childcare access. Just figure it out from the top.
Yeah. Probably still.
Almost
I hope so.
0.4%. Because I know right now it's very strong.
We are.
So I just put in.
It's 6 o'clock, so I'll call the meeting to order. First up on the agenda is modifications to the agenda, and there'll be a couple under approval of meeting minutes instead of November 3rd. I should have put October 21st there. And under disclosure of settlement agreement, I'd like to table that to a future meeting because I put it on there without us really doing our homework. There's some unanswered questions. So I really need to have a discussion with Heather before we put that back on the agenda. Okay, any other modifications?
I have a couple, both connected. The advertising for highway crew position, I would move that we table that until after the executive session, only because I would like to add an item to that executive session for personnel as pertains to the advertisement.
And honestly, I would think that because it's the same vacancy that we've been trying to fill, that we can go ahead and fill that without having to approve advertisement. If after the executive session, we still need to advertise for that vacancy, it's the same vacancy. It should already have, it should apply to what we approved to do earlier.
Yes,
So I don't think it needed to be a new action item anyways.
either way, I would ask that it be postponed until after the executive session if action needs to be taken.
I have no objection to your proposal,
Okay,
for what it's worth.
is there anything else? Well, you said a couple of things.
It was those two. It was that, but then I'm essentially
Oh,
under personnel, there's a separate 313 A1B personnel matter related to labor contract.
Okay. All right. Any other modifications? If not, we'll move on to approval of meeting minutes of, where are we going? Order October 21st, 2025. Anybody have any suggested revisions?
And that was the meeting, that was a special meeting.
Yes.
Where we were trying to do health benefits.
Yes.
But it was an unproductive meeting.
Yes.
We didn't get anywhere with that.
It was essentially all discussion, no action.
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes, the special meeting minutes of October 21st, 2025.
Okay, any discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving the minutes of the special meeting on October 21st, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I'll just abstain, so I wasn't here.
Yeah, I will abstain too, because I wasn't
Were you
here
on the
either.
phone for that one?
No.
October 21st was the,
Or is it November 3rd?
November 3rd, you
You
weren't
weren't
here.
here. You were
Okay.
here for that
So,
one.
yes. No.
Okay, so it's four
For us.
oh and one abstention. Okay, next up is October 27th, 2025. Any suggested revisions to that one? If not, somebody would make a motion.
So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of approval of the meeting minutes for October 27th, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
That's the one I'll abstain.
I think I was there, but things are blurred. Okay, next up, cemetery update and deeds.
Bouchard. It's pretty standard lot. So I apologize that I did not get you a copy before tonight, but I wrote it today. I just need.
I'll make a motion to approve this cemetery deed as presented.
I would second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
I should just close that I am fairly good friends with these applicants. I think it's a kind of an administrative pro forma, so there shouldn't be any problem with it, but I'm putting that on the record regardless.
Okay. All right, all those in favor of approving the cemetery deed, or I didn't catch the names, but approving the cemetery deed for Barbara Talcott and Douglas Borchard, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay.
The next piece that I have is the cemetery committee has a mission statement that I don't know if you guys have to accept it or want to hear it or how this works, but I can read it if you like.
I'm willing to hear it.
Okay. The mission of the Waterford Cemetery Committee is to preserve, maintain, and enhance the dignity, beauty, and historical integrity of our cemetery grounds. We are committed to honoring those who have passed, supporting their families and loved ones, and ensuring that the cemetery remains a respectful and welcoming space for remembrance, reflection, and community heritage. Through thoughtful planning, stewardship, and community engagement, we strive to uphold traditions while preparing for future needs with compassion and care.
Nice.
So that's, and then the last piece I have is the cemetery committee is requesting that when cemetery plots are sold, they would like to see 50% of the total amount deposited into a perpetual care fund to be used in the future. This fund will help ongoing maintenance and necessary repairs, preserving the condition and dignity of the cemeteries for future generations. As of now, all money goes into the general fund. The cemetery committee has had conversations with the treasurer's office, and they would be happy if the board approves that to set it up.
I don't know about you guys, but I'd be willing to let the whole thing go in there. It's not substantial revenue for the town, but it's imperative revenue for taking care of the cemeteries. And I would actually make a motion that we have 100% of the cemetery sale fees go into a, did you call it a perpetual account, Heather?
Perpetual fund.
Perpetual fund for the care of cemeteries.
So just to give you an idea, this year we sold 7 lots, which is really high, for a total of $5,500.
Okay, because last year it looks like you only sold $300 worth. Is that correct? I'm just looking at the town report from 2024.
It varies.
Yeah, I was gonna say it varies. I want to say it was 1 or 2 lots, but it wouldn't have.
But I feel like that lot sale amount isn't a substantial amount of money, but it would help with the care of
Right.
taking care of the cemeteries.
Yeah, because we have some definite big fence issues that we have to resolve. And we're working on surveying the next section of Riverside, but in the future, we've got that whole other section that hasn't even been thought of yet.
So my motion is that we 100% of the fee.
I will
Yes,
second.
I just wondered, what is the current price for a cemetery lot?
It depends on if you're a resident or non-resident. It's just,
Resident,
it depends on size. If it's a single, a double, or a triple, anywhere between $500 and $1,000, I believe.
thank you.
We should have bought it a few years ago when Joanne said it was 200.
Snow you lose.
My only question here is, Fox, give me a second here. So from an accounting standpoint, if we approve this motion that I just seconded tonight of the 100%, does that go in retroactively over the course of this year? Is that just for anything approved beyond now? So it wouldn't even be retroactive for the one.
Technically, I've been putting it all into the reserve fund right now, so.
So there is already an existing perpetual fund for cemetery care.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know, I guess, could they word it that it includes all sales from this year, or does it matter?
Retroactive
Yeah.
for 2025 is fine.
Okay, add that to my motion, Hannah, retroactive through this year.
I will still second that.
Okay,
For my own edification, the retroactive funds have no impact on the 2025 budget, if I understand that?
So you will just be losing out on the $5,500 of revenue that was used. So we used 2,000 to budget, so you're basically gonna be $3,500 less revenue.
Well, I'm all for the proposal, I just wanna know what the impact is.
As far as the, budget and what was allocated for this year and what was spent last year, it looks like 8,900 was the total cemetery expense, and we budgeted 11,600 roughly for this year. Are we over 5,500 for spending on that?
Well, so we haven't paid the sexton yet, so we're gonna zero out of that
Okay.
budget.
Yeah, cause we just got the bill for Kittredge mowing too, so that hasn't really get into,
Okay.
so.
okay. Further discussion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion to, could you read it, Hannah?
I was gonna ask.
So, Sue moved that 100% of the cemetery sale fees go into the perpetual fund, retroactive for 2025.
Okay, all those in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Just out of curiosity, what did we just do though? Is that in perpetuity going forward?
That is my understanding of this.
Unless some future board wanted to change it, I guess they could change it.
It's
Sure.
probably not enough, it's probably gonna get used up pretty regularly.
Oh, no, I understand that.
Was that the cemetery committee's intent was for going forward perpetuity?
Yeah, if we could,
Okay.
yeah. There's a lot of work at the cemeteries that needs to be done.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned about the fencing and some other issues.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Next up is budget presentation. Heather?
So, not a presentation, how about a conversation?
Okay,
Because
conversation.
We've got some holes still.
Yeah.
So start with the fire department, because that one was the easiest. The only question on the table from last meeting was whether there was gonna be $25,000 added to that budget for capital improvements to their building. So, two questions, is it 25,000? Is it in their budget or is it in the town's budget? Because the town owns the building.
I'm still waiting to see cost estimates from the fire department for the work that they need done. I think we got one for the roof earlier this summer. Didn't we get a?
That was a quote
replacement?
for a roof
A new-
replacement.
right.
Yes.
That's the only quote I've seen. And it wasn't $25,000. What was it?
It was about, I believe it was north of 80, yeah.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yes, Jim?
We met with the plumber today
Oh.
over there.
Yeah.
And he was gonna figure out cost to reroute that pipe, take it out of the attic and reroute it inside the building. So, he's gonna get that together. I don't know what the timetable is.
Okay.
This is as opposed to the electrical heating tape route?
Is this also the pipe that impacts the town garage, Jim, or is it something different?
No, it's something different.
Okay.
We had a conversation about that as well. And he recommended that I check the the blow off on the hot water heater to make sure that it's 100 PSI. Because he said that the way that setup is in the fire department, it can be finicky and it's supposed to trigger it off at like 70 pounds or 60 pounds, something like that. But he said what happens is sometimes they'll screw up a little bit and then bump it up to like 75 pounds, 80 pounds. And he said that being the case, if you have a 75 pound relief, then it would flood. And so I checked that, our relief valve on that, but he seemed to think that it was a little niche type thing in the boiler room over there.
Okay.
No, so this, just one more time, so this is the line item under like fire department expenditures, this is under building maintenance, repairs and maintenance?
No, this is in addition to that.
This is in addition, okay.
So these are capital improvements, the roof, the furnace.
Heather, what's the question we're really grappling with here, whether the 25,000 capital improvement should be included in the fire department budget or leave it with the town for the town to take care of capital improvements?
So the two questions are, so 25,000 was the number that Colin suggested. And so question one is $25,000 the number?
Mhm.
And number two is, where does it live? Is it in the fire department's budget? Or is it in the town's budget because the town owns the building?
Where in the town's budget would that appear as a line item? I'm just kind of poking through the budget from last year. Would that, like, there is a category for library and town office building. Would it go under there or?
It could go under any line item that the select board sees fit.
I would think it would be beneficial to add a new line item if you decide to the town budget, so.
I don't know, town garage has their building costs in their budget.
Mhm.
And I thought that the fire department had its building in its budget. I know they don't want it in there, but I feel that's the best place for it. And they get to make the decisions
Yeah.
on what needs to be done.
I agree. I don't really see a compelling argument to have it outside of their budget.
And I have no idea about the $25,000 number because I don't know what their furnace will cost. And we already know that the roof is or at least the replacement of the roof is a much higher number than that, so.
They're looking at a new furnace potentially.
It's gonna need a new furnace.
Okay.
I think they're looking at building up a fund to be able to afford all these expenses. It may not be used next year, it may just be transferred over into a fund for future expenditures.
Mhm.
So would this work that we're talking about to reroute the pipes or whatever? Are they suggesting waiting until next year to do that? Or, I mean, is that gonna be under next year's budget or, I would think it'd be under this year's budget.
2026. I doubt they'll do it before 2026.
Well, I hope we do it shortly after the start of 2026, because we don't want them freezing.
Or it could be 2025, whenever they get the, okay to do it, so.
Okay. All right. So the 25,000, just sort of like pick the number, there's, like you said, the roof is much more expensive than that, and the furnace is, I don't know how much that is, but, so this is to build up a fund, not necessarily to be used immediately, so we're not budgeting.
But what if the furnace comes out
100,000.
and they,
Yeah.
I mean, you would think of it as a capital improvement or, a 5-year plan for capital improvements.
Okay.
And depending on how much is amassed in the fund, it may not be that full 25,000 coming out of taxes, depending on when they spend it and how much is accrued.
Well, every year, 25,000 will come out, and that'll get added to the budget.
Okay.
But that
Just like
amount will roll over for them.
Yeah, it'll roll
Yeah.
over for them, and just like an equipment fund or anything like that. You just keep building it up, it's still in your budget for that year, and you apply taxes to be able to pay for that.
Mhm.
Which you'll see in the highway budget, we've had to do to Mad Brook Bridge.
Just for my own edification, this furnace replacement in the future, what, area of the fire department does it actually service? Is it the entire building or just a portion of it? And I'm asking because I thought they put in a heat pump somewhere in there.
That sounds like a good calling question,
Okay,
because I'm not sure that any of us
well,
have
that's
that.
fine. Start here if anybody knows. And then
I just thinking they had really heat in the floor.
I think that's air conditioning.
pump goes both ways and it's
Right.
a really efficient way to do things these days.
I don't know if they're heat pumps as well.
Yeah.
But I know that he had put in, I think it was like $3,600 or something. It was, I know there was a mention of air conditioning.
It was the
Okay.
same mini split that we put in here and we put in downstairs.
Yeah,
Okay,
there were
so
mini
there's-
splits and it was covered by ARPA funding.
So I guess my question is, has anybody crunched the numbers for, putting in further heat pumps instead of an oil fired?
Well, they have heat with concrete.
Hmm.
So they have radiant heat, so you need a boiler to run radiant heat, you can't do it off a heat pump.
Technically you can, but then you don't get the AC benefit as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is 25,000 the number that's gonna go for right now in the fire department budget? Or not?
Can you tell us how much without that, the fire department budget is gonna go increase? Or with it?
They were
Was that-
staying pretty flat.
It was pretty flat.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just curious.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. So without adding the 25,000. It was 4.6,
4.6% increase.
right.
All right.
And because you have your magic calculator right there, what will that 25,000 bump it up to if we add that?
Bump it up by.
Yeah, up to what percent?
Okay.
Hold on, because I know she's got
Mhm.
All in a day's work. So that's gonna increase it pretty substantial, 21%.
Wow.
Okay.
So let me be the one to ask a potentially dangerous question, but determining a budget in a government operation is what I've always understood as an apportionment of disappointment for the coming year. Collins asked for 25,000 in a future-looking fund. Do we have to consider the entire number? In other words, something potentially less, so it's less of a bite.
Well,
I'd like to understand what the furnace would cost, because I'm thinking that could be an emergency, and we don't want him stuck with an emergency. So if that's 10,000 or 15,000, I think we've got to put at least that amount into the fund. And if he can get that furnace to limp along another year and roll over those funds, and then we fund the furnace again, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, that would be great, but what if he's stuck with a broken furnace? this
What do we know
winter?
about the condition of the furnace right now?
Guess it's not good. Anyone?
Okay, what the board has to consider is, we do have 185,000 in the town purchasing fund right now. So we do have emergency funds if we need to use it,
Okay,
so.
that makes me feel a little bit better, but yeah, I'd still like to at least fund a new furnace, at the very least.
Yeah, I'm much in favor of being proactive
Yes.
rather than reactive. I'm just wondering how far we can get.
Yeah, I agree. Can we use the 25,000 as a placeholder now, Heather, and have all of us kind of think about it and see what a new furnace might cost and.
Good.
And I'd like to look at the estimate on the roof again, because I'm wondering if there was an option to repair instead of replace. I think we only got the replace option.
I
Do you remember?
think, I'm sure they had a copy, but I think I have a copy if I can. I don't have it.
I think they emailed it to us. I think we all have it. I
Okay,
think.
because I remember Howard handed me a paper the night,
Okay.
but I'm sure we can get it, but.
Yeah.
And to me, whether you put 25, okay, 25,000 in, might depend on, what the total budget might look like.
Right.
So we could leave there for.
But if we
for
could
now.
get a roof repair for 10,000 instead of a new one for 80,000, that's also something for us to consider.
Okay,
Okay, it's a placeholder for the moment.
okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So on to the town budget. So there were some conversations at the last meeting with numbers that people were looking into. I think Wade was gonna look into the sheriff's department. Sue, you were gonna talk to the zoning administrator to find out whether those numbers needed to be increased.
I did. Matt does not need an increase this year. As Ron thought, a lot of his hours in the beginning of his contract this year were straightening out and looking at emails from the previous zoning administrator. So he also realizes he didn't have a full year last year. So he thinks he can do 2026 with his 2025 budget, but then it would be reevaluated, reassessed at the end of, during the budget cycle next year, because he may need more for 2027. But he's okay with 2026, leaving that level funded, so we can do that.
So, just as an FYI to the board, he is gonna overspend his line item. We've paid him through October, so he still has November and December, and he only has $600 left.
Yeah, so. Yep. Okay. He inherited a bit of a mess, I think.
So I spoke to the sheriff. What the sheriff said is basically he's in a good spot right now. If he can do whatever the town wants him to do. So, or we'll be able to by that point. So if we want to increase or stay the same, it's kind of what the town wants to do, what we want to do.
He's in a good spot with his, human capacity.
Says he is.
Okay. Good.
So one reason we were bumping it up a couple of years ago, or tried to, was because of the ATV issue. And that issue didn't go anywhere last year. So I don't know how much more we need to increase that budget.
So just the math of it is 83 hours for the year, which you're probably I'm off. I'm
No,
not
you're
a
right.
number person, but
But,
that's not a lot of hours.
and that rate has gone up. So we
It's
need to
gone
at
up.
least raise it.
Right, and he's one of the lower ones too. I know most agencies are 75 to 100 an hour, he's 60. But 83 hours is not a lot of time for a year, so.
So we have paid, through October, and they've spent 2,900 so far at their current rate, not their increased rate.
Okay.
And the budget is 5,000.
Correct.
So it looks like that budget. How many hours does the $5,000 budget get us at the new rate? What's the new rate?
83.
So 83 hours and at
$560 is
$5,000.
$5,000.
60.
The current rate, I forgot what that was.
$60.
16.
No,
No,
The current.
current rate is 42.
Oh, but it went up to 60.
yeah, I'm just curious, how many hours, so that's,
That would break it down to like
Seven.
1.6 hours a week. if we maintain the 5,000.
The 5,000 buys us the number of hours that we've purchased so far this year,
Right.
but we still got a month and a half left. So we might need to bump it up a little.
And my feeling is that, I know you spoke one time, sir, about the wanting more enforcement, but I haven't heard a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's not-
Should we bump it up to 5,500 just to cover those few extra hours that we're missing?
Well, that's a full 10%, and
We put it up to 10,000 a year or two ago, and they just didn't have the capacity to help us, so it never materialized. But that's when we were talking ATVs.
I mean, realistically speaking, 1.6 hours a week, that doesn't get you much. If you double that, you'd go up to 10,000 like we had in 2024 to 3.2. That's still no better, but at least it's,
Something.
It's 3 hours as opposed to an hour and a half. You've got, transition time in there that gets eaten up about the same, no matter what your weekly average is. If you up the weekly average, then you're getting objectively more hours. It's pure, patrol time. I'm not sure how they build it. In my head, I would imagine that, some of that is, transition, getting into position, leaving town. I'm not really sure.
So in October, they billed us for 12 hours.
Okay.
Which was 3 hours a week.
what are they doing in that time? Is it speed enforcement? Is it checking complaints?
So I don't know the answer. The report that I get, that goes with it, which is also included in your AP, shows the number of traffic stops that they have and what they're for. So in October, there was one operating without a license and there was one picked up for speeding.
And if any of that, I believe if any of that counts, say they have court time, that also ticks off our hours because of counted toward that.
Who gets the proceeds from the tickets?
We get a portion.
Which I've never actually seen.
I've
Just
seen
me.
it.
Did you see it? Because I've never actually.
Comes from the state treasurer's office.
Right.
That's a small portion.
Well,
though.
what do you think about splitting the difference and we do 7,500?
I'm amenable to that.
Because she's at 3,900 this year, and it looks like they're gonna stay within that budget. And then if we account for the increase in hourly rate. What do you think? How do you feel about it?
Well, if the increase in wages, $18 over 42, that's what? Call it a third. And you're increasing your budget by 50%. You're increasing your budget, but you are getting a little more enforcement.
Covering that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's 125 hours.
I'm thinking cheap, just to hit 5,000, but that's just my opinion. I don't know, I just, no, I'm not gonna say.
So Wade, do you think 12 hours a month is something that we could bank on for the sheriff?
No.
Okay.
I think my suggestion would be keep it at 5 and see what we get next year. So
you think 12 is just an aberration based on?
I think he's trying, but I'm not sure it's there yet. So maybe another year of staying at 5 and then look at it, I guess, reassess it.
But knowing that the rate is bigger, can we bump it up a little? Just to try to cover what we have? Maybe. Would anyone go for 6,000 just to cover some of the cost increase?
So the current rate's 42 an hour.
42.
6,000 is 100 hours.
Yeah, it's 100 hours. 6,000 is 100 hours. We're at 83 now, and we've got a month and a half to go.
We're at 69 now, aren't we? Didn't you say 2,900?
2,900 is what we've spent so far through October.
Oh, I thought it was 3,900. I thought it was 3,900.
So that's 69. So it's
2,900.
us, just 7, you said that's through October, so it's 7 hours, roughly 6.9 hours.
I misheard. I thought she said we were at 3,900, so that's a little bit different. Doesn't even look like we're gonna get to the budget this year.
Okay,
I'm okay with leaving it.
anybody else?
So, on the next meeting, do you wanna sign the contract? Because we have to have this contract back to him.
When do we have to have it back in, you said?
He sent this, Heather, do you remember? We've had this for what, a month or two already?
Yeah, September.
So that he can plan
We
for
received
us.
it October 14th.
Is the contract, is that just for the hourly rate or?
We can put a dollar figure in here of how much we wanna spend, and then I just need the select board chair to sign.
Approve it this evening.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so we're leaving it at 5.
Yeah.
For now.
For now.
Just for my own thinking, since we are in a meeting, Wade, walk me through it really quickly and simply. The presence of law enforcement in Waterford does what? Keeps the speeders under control, sort of keeps people with the halo over their heads to behave themselves?
Right,
How
I
does
mean,
this
it would
work?
be a deterrent. I'm sure it's a deterrent. I've never seen a sheriff in Waterford, maybe others have. I see state police, because most of them live here.
Is the sheriff likely to be setting up out on Route 18 as opposed to Lower Waterford or
Usually they're set
something?
up right up here in front.
Yeah,
Is
they-
that
I've
where-
seen a
okay.
state trooper on 18. I have never seen. a
But I think
sheriff.
we could also give them direction of what we want to see.
So they sit near the school
Okay,
as well,
which is good.
to slow the bike trucks down.
Yes.
Might that explain part of the increase in hours for October, like in terms of seasonal flood?
I think it's like what Wade said, they're getting fully staffed and so, I mean, because it's not the same name anymore, they're like rotating.
Oh, cool.
Thanks.
Okay, so, I am missing the Davies Library appropriation, they're meeting next Wednesday, the 19th, so I'll have that number from Candace afterwards. That right now is the only number I'm missing in the town budget, except for the conversation about whether there's going to be, salary increases for employees.
Did you say something, Mark?
No, it was Hannah sneezed.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the highway department budget, Will and Jim put together a preliminary budget. It was sent to me on Saturday, so I put it in my spreadsheet. I fixed the numbers, of, the insurance. So both building, auto, and then the benefit insurance and the wages for right now. And then put in the proposed numbers for operations and maintenance. There is 2 things that I did add. So one thing I did correct is that truck number 6 was paid off this year, in July, so there's no payment. Truck number 7, this is the last year of that, and we just have a very small payment, so we paid off in 2026. So I did make those 2 corrections.
What was the line item change to for this year on truck number 7? What was the amount?
So for truck number 7,
23,000.
no, it's 44. If you look at,
But you're gonna have a small payment in 2026.
$5,000.
yeah, it's
Oh.
44, I have the numbers, it's 49,92.51.
But you're gonna save 44. Wow.
No, it's,
You're
yeah,
gonna
so the
save
payment,
29.
yeah, so the payment is typically 29,959. We just have a small portion in 26 to pay, so that's 49,92.51.
Okay.
A little, almost 5,000.
And then truck number 6, how much was that?
Nothing.
So truck number 6, the last payment was made in July of this year for 20,858.
So that's money they don't need next year.
Well, now you've gotta start thinking,
So,
because you're gonna have, that's a 2013 truck, and you're gonna need to replace it at some point. So now you've gotta start thinking of building up a
Capital.
capital fund for,
so there are 2 things that I did put in the highway department budget. So we do have a grants and aid for 26. The match on that is gonna be $6,000, so I did put it in here. And then we know what our portion is going to be for the Madbrook Bridge. So this is kind of one of those, Madbrook Bridge is repaired, we're gonna have to pay for those repairs up front. We have to wait for FEMA to reimburse us, but the town is still, on the hook for 25% of all of the repairs that were made for the town. So 25% of the Madbrook Bridge, is 57,825. So I did put that in the budget as a placeholder, okay, for now. Cause it is going to end up happening in 26.
That we have to pay back.
And there's gonna be more like those. We just don't know, it's gonna trickle in as FEMA, as the projects are approved and those trickle in, we have to pay a portion of each
either that or it'll be when we finish up, we
altogether.
get all our money and we pay off our loan, and then whatever we have for balance, we've got to eat it up. So we either eat some up each year and try to build up a fund, or we do it at one shot and take the hit then.
Have we received even $1 from FEMA yet?
Marcel and I have a meeting with some FEMA representatives on Thursday. So,
Cause for optimism?
We have received some funds. We're just waiting for verification, so.
optimism, they have some
No.
questions. So we'll meet with them. It's fine.
You said that the Madbrook Bridge, the town will have to pay 25%?
57,000 something, and that's regardless of what FEMA compensates us for.
Yeah.
Unless the state kicks in some, but the state isn't kicking in anything right
We
now.
haven't heard from this.
Okay, because originally we thought that 25% might be split some way between us and the
It's
state.
possible, but it may not be either. We don't know that.
Okay,
So this has to go against the budget, at least to cover us.
yeah.
So every FEMA project is 75-25. Feds do 75. Town is responsible for 25. State may kick in 12.5.
So we may still be on the hook for $200,000.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll know more about where we are in the whole FEMA landscape after Thursday. Because both of our disasters have been moved to the regional office in Connecticut. And so this is our 4th regional contact.
Any funds that do come in, are they going to go towards loan payoff? Any dollars that come in will.
I mean, that would be my suggestion. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's
Because
there
we're
for.
just interest only, just continuing.
Right.
But we
much is
need
that
to figure
interest?
out
It's a
how
lot.
we're gonna pay for Madbrook Bridge.
What's the interest is what, 5,000 a month?
3,800, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Percentage wise, that's
5.89 or something like that.
On $1 million.
800,000 right now, yeah, that we have out. We still have 200,000 line of credit left, but we still have to figure out how we're gonna pay for Madbrook Bridge, which is $231,000.
So has the FEMA grant been approved on their level yet?
No,
So it's a bit trickier.
Mhm.
Each one of the disasters had different projects and they grouped them together.
Mhm.
And so they moved through the FEMA process. And once they've met all of the FEMA obligations, FEMA signs off on them. And then when a chunk of money goes from FEMA to the state starts allocating, and that comes through grant documents.
Okay.
So the last I heard, there had been 17 million that was given from FEMA to the state, and the state is working to allocate those to all of the municipalities that had damage.
So we may get something soon.
It all depends on, federal government's not moving at the moment, so.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Wonder why.
So we will get there, but it's probably not gonna be in 2025.
And as far as Marcel's comment about paying for Madbrook Bridge, any idea when?
I'm guessing that bill's gonna come in anytime now, because they're done.
Yep.
So I'm guessing McDonald will probably get it by the end of the month and have to pay it by the first of the year, so that'd be my guess.
Okay.
We'll either pay it out of the general, we'll pay what we can out of the general fund and,
And we have a little bit of loan room left.
yeah, I'd rather not touch that if we didn't have to, but that's something you guys will have to decide, so.
I'm still unclear about the interest that we're actually paying. That's on a line of credit,
$800,000.
It's $1 million line of credit.
and we need that line of credit for meeting the emergencies that we've experienced.
No, we didn't have $1 million to spend to fix all the roads and everything.
Yeah, no, I understand the need for it. My personal gears get ground paying interest on anything, and I'm wondering if there's a way to climb up the other side of that curve in some way. I mean, I know we need these funds, but is there some proactive way we can not pay interest?
You
To
want
meet
to buy a
future
Powerball ticket tonight and then see if you win it?
No, it's
I
just
mean,
the way it works. We needed a line of credit to pay the contractors to fix the roads for FEMA. That was the way that we did it.
We didn't have, we could have emptied our reserve fund. And we could have emptied everything. And then we wouldn't have something to sit back on.
Right.
This interest will get paid back once we get into Cat Z, then they'll pay us back for the interest, and then they'll pay for Heather's and I's time that we've spent on this,
At 25%.
so.
Oh, so the interest is not a loss long-term?
No, we will get it back at some point, but
Okay.
it's just a matter of, we had to finance it, we had to pay for this somehow.
So they paid that back at 75%?
25.
25.
So there's a very large spreadsheet where we track, Marcel and I track all of our hours that we've worked during the flood, as well as any other.
And Jim
interest
and Sean is.
No, those are already taken
Those are
care of.
already taken care of. So this is administrative, Cat Z is
Administrative.
administrative.
Cat Z.
So that's Marcel.
25% of those, that administrative time is compensated, or?
100%.
So the interest might be 100%, but
The
our
interest is
time
100%, and our time's 25%.
25%.
Here's more of a general
That'd be
question.
nice.
Here's more of a general question from last year into this year. There was a $160,000 surplus, and there's a surplus of that amount in the town budget. What happened?
We did not have a surplus last year. Yes, we did have a surplus because of a lot of the expenses that were earmarked for highway actually went through FEMA. So when you look at what we're gonna end up with a bill for the end of FEMA, we're not gonna have a surplus. We've used up all that surplus and just our 25% or whatever we're gonna owe for FEMA.
So you're saying this 160,000 line item, that's more of like a cash accounting versus accrual accounting
Yeah.
discrepancy than anything?
Because we can't accrue anything at the end of the year. We're a cash
We're
basis.
cash basis.
Mhm.
That answers my next question. Setting up a sinking fund for future expenditures is against municipal accounting principles.
A sinking fund?
Something that you're putting together today for a future
That would be just like our purchasing funds or anything like that.
Yeah, a reserve account.
We could put it, you could start a fund, put $50,000 you want in as a line item every year and put it in the reserve fund for future emergencies. Yes, you could do that.
Yeah.
But then that's on the back of the taxpayers.
Mhm. Which is more cost effective long term.
I don't know. I guess you'd have to run some numbers.
I know there are a fair number of towns in the last 2 years who have approved and like an recurring annual line item for a general reserve fund contribution. That is something we could consider going down the road.
I would like to see the numbers.
I don't think this year would be a year to do it. Cause I got a feeling when our budget comes down to the end, it's gonna be quite an increase, but.
So when we look at the highway department budget and we factor in Madbrook Bridge, the grants and aid match, what is the total number we come to?
Oh, I do have a question about, what number did you have for bridges and guardrails? Marcel?
Bridges and guardrails, 57,825.
Yeah, where did that number come from?
There was 50,000. That's what the bridge is $231,300. FEMA portion would be $173,475. So that leaves us with $57,825.
Yeah, no, okay, so I put that in a different line.
And the bottom line is what I came up this morning is $796,106.87.
I'm sorry, what was the 796?
106.87.
That's the total,
That's the total highway budget.
Oh.
Compared to 750, 551.67 last year.
And pretty much the difference is,
Yeah,
At the moment, yes.
'cause I made,
I have a question, bridges and guardrails as a line item. If we only put 57,825 in there, knowing that that's our Madbrook piece, Jim, do you have bridges and guardrails that need to be funded, that we need to bump that number up bigger than just the Madbrook?
Well, that's all up to you guys as far
But
as,
don't you spend money every year on bridges and guardrails?
how much was in there for this year?
Yeah,
as of 9:30, $0 was spent.
$0 was spent this year.
because most of it went through FEMA.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one other increase in that is gonna be because I have to crush again.
And that is accounted for in gravel,
Yeah.
it's $75,000, is it?
Crushing.
That is accounted for or isn't?
It is, that is accounted for.
Yeah, we burned through all my, well, a good portion of my gravel because we opted not to do the top coat material through FEMA. So I end up having
Remember,
to
we
use all my
expedited
material
that.
on it. And that's gonna cause me to have to crush again next.
And that also is running the wages at current. No increases, that's the current wages right now.
So that's no cost of living.
No cost of living, no anything.
I haven't done any wage increases to any employees in these budgets until the select board had a conversation.
And I didn't catch what you said the budget was without, where it is right now for
Well, the
highway.
highway, 796,106.87.
Now, I'm assuming you kept your figures the same, your line item structure the same as you have in the last couple of years. The total like highway administration category that has like the health insurance, clothing allowance, dental insurance, et cetera. What was the total number for that category?
145,777.73. Which is pretty close to what you had calculated out.
Yeah.
That's using the new MVP numbers.
Mhm.
A small increase in dental. Calculating the retirement contributions, because as of 2026, that changes again,
Oh,
so they get more.
how much is it now?
Right now, it's 7.5 and 20, for our contribution in 2026, it goes to 7.75. So I use the blended rate of 7.625 against calculated wages.
Okay.
Will that start on January 1st though?
It already
The
started,
new
twenty
retirement?
twenty-five, it went up to 7.5%. In July 2026, it goes up to 7.75.
Okay, that's what I was asking, July 26. That's what, I was just trying to figure out why you used the blended rate, and that's why.
That's why, yep.
The buildings, equipment and auto and liability insurance, what was the increase on that from this year's budgeted?
I don't know, $500 or so I increased it.
Okay, so it
'Cause I
wasn't
have
that much.
no idea on that. The equipment and autos, probably another $500. I'm using what it is actually this year right now. Workman's comp was $13,000. So I bumped that up to 14, because I'm sure it'll go.
Okay, that was 13,000 spent this year.
Yeah, 9,000's been spent. We still have one more payment to go.
Okay.
So it'll be $13,000 for workman's comp.
Okay.
Okay. Just maybe, are we done talking about the highway budget for now, or what I wanted to go back to is the town budget. Did you say what the total was without, without any pay increases?
Sure, so the town budget right now, but that's without Davy's appropriation, is $540,008.92.
540,008.92.
Yes.
Davies. Okay.
With no COLA or wage increase. At the moment.
Okay. Okay. And in the town budget, I assume that you put in what we discussed a little bit last time, the health insurance for treasurer and.
Yes.
Okay.
So the town clerk's position and the treasurer's position are budgeted at full-time with full benefits.
I'm not
both.
going to approve that. The other four of you may, but I'm gonna want that to be level funded, and the new treasurer and town clerk have to live within the budget.
That doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't work that way, no.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm sorry, but what's the increase of that budget over this year's budget?
It doesn't matter.
What's
It's
the
what it
percent
is.
increase?
It's like saying the highway department doesn't get health insurance. They're full-time employees, they get health insurance. Whether they take it or not is
They
different.
can also change their number of hours of an assistant. They
How are
can
you-
also change their pay rate per
How
hour.
are you gonna change their pay rate?
So if you change
They
my,
can change
if
their
somebody
pay rate.
comes in and takes my position,
Mhm.
if you take what I'm making for an hourly salary now and deduct the health insurance, they're not making minimum wage.
They're not making minimum wage, so you have to be realistic.
Right, but if you look at what other towns, town clerks and
They
treasurers
make
make,
benefits
it would be
and they
many
make full
dollars
time.
less per hour.
I don't think so.
Well, I looked it up with the
So-
VLCT thing.
So as a treasurer for a treasurer's position,
Mhm.
okay? So I work up to 20 hours a week because of my skill set that matches with Marcel's skill set. Okay, so I do AP, I do grants, I do budgeting, I meet with FEMA, I do all that stuff.
Mhm.
Marcel does payroll, reconciliation, works with the auditors, right? So Marcel and I work together, and together, it's a full-time position. So if I'm not reelected, or I don't run again, and you elect a treasurer, you don't know what skill set, and they would not be able to do an entire treasurer's position in 20 hours a week. There's no way.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say what Sue was gonna say. I was back to my last year, not last year, the meeting we discussed that I was, I mean, I don't know whether you're gonna run again, but I'm confident that you'll be reelected if you do. And I would rather not put the insurance in the budget. That's what I prefer to do, but
So then you're gonna fall, you could fall on your sword and have an unbudgeted expense.
you could.
So I've been building budgets for many years. You always budget for a position, not a person.
Yeah, I know that that's probably the wise thing to do, but and probably that's what the board will do, but not, I wouldn't. Anything else to discuss on?
So I will have the Davies appropriation next week.
Okay.
The board needs to discuss about wage increases. I need to know that so I can put together a finalized budget because it needs to be voted on your first meeting in December. Because it needs to get ready for the book.
Can we, in December, that first meeting, can we do that projection and your spreadsheet up there the way you've done in the past? Because that is so much more easy to see.
That is the intention, but
That's what I
that
would like.
typically is done when the budget is complete. So we're
Yes.
gonna look for a final budget for that meeting.
And that's December 9th.
Whatever that date is.
I think that might be the day I'm not here.
The second Monday is the 8th.
The 8th. Oh, good, I will be here.
Okay,
Wage increase does not include cost of living figures. Am I correct?
Yet.
Whatever increase the board decides is what I need to know.
but the current budget
The current
has no
budget-
increase,
The
no
current
cost of
budget-
living.
Right.
What she's working with right now, she has not done that. She's waiting on us.
Okay.
Okay,
Did we have a cost of living increase last year?
Yes.
We did.
2.5%.
A wage increase?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
There was a cost of living.
Cost of
increase
living.
last.
I want to make sure I got my
There were
terms
no
right.
raises.
That's what I'm asking.
None.
Cost of living is not a
Zero.
raise in my book. Is it
No,
a raise in other people's
there
books?
were no raises.
Okay.
Only cost of living.
I think that is a difference of opinion, so. So I'm just looking for the board to make a
What the
decision.
number is.
Give me a number. That's all I want.
And then we'll do the big show on December 8th.
I will project it, yes.
And our agenda should reflect very little else going on because that's a really big deal. You go line item by line item. It's
Yeah.
very thorough.
Is there gonna be a meeting between now and then?
There has to be. We have to make a decision on COLA and we need
Yes.
well, it's not really in our hands, the Davies numbers, but
Sorry to say, but yes, we need another one before that big show.
If it's held on the second Thursday, I'm not likely to be here, but you'll still have a quorum, but.
second
because-
Thursday?
Big.
Second Monday, I mean, third.
Fourth.
I
Fourth
can't
Monday.
talk. Fourth Monday. Wow,
That's the 24th.
24th, because,
You're
I'm
not here on the
supposed-
24th?
well, I'm either going to be hopefully going to bed early that night, because hopefully I have a 5 o'clock flight the next morning.
What about next Monday, the 17th? Is everyone available for that? No,
I'll be gone for 2 weeks.
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I've got a conflict that night.
As do I.
I could do the first week in December, which is before.
The first, December 1st.
Yeah.
Can we meet on December 1st?
Is there any reason we can't meet any other day of the week?
No, that's just one that we,
That fourth week is Thanksgiving, so that's probably gonna be we're gonna be hard pressed to find a
yeah,
quorum
I'm
that
still
whole
gonna
fourth
be
week.
like waddling on the first. but-
Your trip to Fame?
What do you
So
think?
did you want to, is the first not good for you?
It works for
Tim?
me.
No, first is fine with me.
First is fine by
We're
me.
having trouble finding
Okay.
a Monday.
And what we should do at that meeting is absolutely fill in all the holes that Heather needs so that we're ready for her on the 8th.
Does that make sense?
Do you want me to reach out to Candace to make sure the library is available?
Yes.
Yeah, if you would.
Yes.
If there's nothing on the calendar right now, but I know she has another group that was interested in Monday night, so I will double check.
Okay.
And that would be a working meeting for the board.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is vision insurance. Put this on the agenda because there's some, not question, but, we have to our personnel policy does not include vision insurance. As I understand it, it is available for town employees at their own cost. Is that correct?
Correct.
So what happened when I researched it is Howard Remick got vision insurance coverage for a
Because
total
of my era. It was my era.
in 2024.
I forgot to tell him that it was it was an elected, not a provider. I'm not an HR person, but it's been kind of thrown down my throat.
So his coverage was $17.18 a month, and he received it for 10 months in 2024. Howard,
Howard wasn't employed for 10 months.
his
In
bill
20.
came to $171.60 at $17.18 a month.
Didn't he start in?
There were a few dollars late fees. But
Started in August.
Yeah, whatever it is. And then Sean came in and at the end, and there was 1 month for Sean, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sean started his in February 25. His is $25.17 per month
Because he has a family plan.
because he has a family plan as opposed to a couple plan that Howard had.
Now, in the budget from last year, and I lack historical context here because I was not elected to the board until March.
Yeah, there's 1,500.
Yeah, $1,500 is allocated and specifically for vision insurance. And then in the little note appendix at the end, there's a couple line items marked A, dental insurance, health insurance, life disability insurance, and vision insurance.
Again, my era.
But again, the note says that the town of Waterford pays 100% of the dental, life, and
Again,
health and
my era.
disability.
Again, my era. I'm
Okay.
the one who made the mistake.
That has been established on the record, but my
Okay.
question is, if this was allocated $1,500 in 2025, I'm just curious where that sum came from, because just napkin math at $25.17 a month, that's enough to cover just a touch under 5 family plans.
Probably the 5 employees that we had.
Okay.
It was budgeted for, so.
Well, only the full-time employees would receive the benefit, so there's only 3 full-time.
Well, then
No, there's 4.
Just 4.
there's 4.
Yeah, it's considered
Oh.
full-time.
I knew that. I'm always thinking we only have 2 highway people because we always only have 2 highway.
So in the current 2026 budget, that line item zeroed out,
Mm-hmm.
unless the board changes its mind.
Well, that's kind of why I put it on here, to decide if we're continuing down the road with, not covering it. I don't think because an error is made, we should suddenly say, well, I don't think we ought to suddenly start paying for vision.
I know I did some research, and there hasn't been one employee who used the $4,000 health reimbursement in 4 years. So there's plenty of money there to pay for whatever they had for vision. So there was no harm, no foul.
Any thoughts from the board or anybody else?
If I'm understanding Marcel, then that would be a position against including a vision coverage.
It's not in personnel policy. If you want to change personnel policy, go ahead and do it, but it's not in the personnel policy.
It's good information on how this is working out, and if this is something that makes people's lives better. You're saying nobody's dug into it.
Well, we've heard from one employee that the only employee that's on it, that he wants that coverage and expects that coverage.
But he still has an HRA account that he could use otherwise.
That's right, so. You let an employee hold you hostage? Fine.
Okay. Unless anybody wants to make changes to that, we don't need an action on that item.
I'll make a motion that the town pay in full for employees' vision insurance.
And I would second that.
My thought here being, if this is, this is $25 a month, $1,500 over the course of the year, you spread that out over the grand list, the value there is peace of mind for your employees.
It's $17-18 a month for a couple policy as opposed to a family policy, so it's even less.
But what Marcel said about no employee in the last 4 years has used all of their HRA, I would think they're currently paying for any vision.
The town's paying for it.
The town is paying for their vision as it is.
The way I understand it, if the employee doesn't use their HRA, the money stays with the town. It does not go to the employee.
Correct.
That's right.
So it's half a dozen one way, 6 the other. If they're gonna use their HRA to pay for it, then the town is paying because the town is paying for the HRA.
But they're not paying for the vision insurance. So it's one hand and the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, you're saying that no employee has fully used their HRA, so the town hasn't lost that money. If they use their HRA to pay the vision, then the town loses that money. They could use their HRA to pay for that benefit, and it's the same exact thing.
Which is more dollar effective?
In terms of
using the HRA, which then is used and it does not come back to the town at the end of the year, versus the town investing in the policy, which is
I haven't done the research as to what that policy pays. So.
I believe we have a hand in the back, if possible.
Yes.
If it helps, for instance, I just have our bills for vision for this year from just myself, and it's over $500 off the HRA. So I don't know if $17 a month is a better plan than,
Can you say that number again, please?
right now, I have $500.
Total for
In
year
vision.
2025.
In vision. Yes.
But then there are deductibles in that plan and other things, and when you start adding all that in, that's gonna come out of your HRA, so is it any different? I don't know. It's up to you guys to make that decision.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the benefits of this particular plan are.
We've never seen anything on vision, so if we got information, we could look into it too.
Let me just make
We've
sure.
never seen the package to offer for vision.
But right now, the HRA, which is funded by the town, is going to repay Christina $500
Yep.
for her vision.
Yep.
Now, if she had a $17.18 policy per month for both her and Jim, would that have saved a portion of that $500?
Well, if it's
I don't
17 a
know.
month times 12 is $204.
Right? Would it,
Mhm.
how much would it have saved? I don't know.
Then you've got deductibles that you have to match, and
Who hosts this vision plan?
this is through VLCT.
And it's called IEMD,
Yeah.
IMED,
EYEMD.
EYEMD, that would make sense.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we, further discussion or?
Well, if there's 4 employees that could potentially be using the vision plan, by this math, it looks like that comes out to around $850 a year. Is that right?
A $25
$17?
family plan is the most.
Oh, I use 17.
25 times 12
Yeah.
is 300, and then 17 times 12 is 204. So 500, 700, possibly $900. But is it gonna save thousands in their HRA? I don't know.
And then you'd also have to figure out if that eye providers are even up there.
If they're what?
If the providers for that eye insurance are even in this area.
Oh, did Sean find someone
Sean's
who
using
lives?
his.
Is he, okay.
Sean's been using his a lot substantially, I guess.
I think you said New Hampshire, right?
You like?
I think he said it was in New Hampshire, is it where he?
Yeah, he goes over on the other side, but it's still covered.
All right. Are we ready for? Okay, all those in favor of having the town pay for 100% of vision insurance for all full-time employees? I guess that is kind of, I know I'm paraphrasing, but I think that's the gist of the
Yes.
motion. All those in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No.
I'm gonna be opposed.
So that motion fails.
Okay.
So then the employees will be notified of this insurance.
Sean has already been notified. I wrote him a letter stating it was my mistake. We will pay till the end of the year.
But you can still notify other full-time employees, Deb and Jim,
Yeah, I can.
that they can purchase this.
They will, for the first of the year, they will be given a full benefits list, what is elected, what is paid by the town. They'll have to sign off on it. This is what they accept, this is what they want, this is what they don't want.
Okay. Next up, citizens' concerns.
I do have one that Deb passed along that we'll read into the record. This is paraphrasing from a phone call. Donnell Dupuis of 269 Suter Road is asking for a speed limit sign on Suter Road. He has spoken to law enforcement about people speeding on Suter Road and was apparently told that because there is no speed limit sign, it is 50 miles an hour. He is requesting a speed limit sign to be put up because the county sheriff's officer, whoever our enforcement arm is, they can't enforce speed limit unless there is a sign.
And what should it be, 35, like other roads?
25 is back roads, isn't it?
30, it's 35.
35 or 40.
35.
I think it's
35 most of the time.
But that's what his should be as well.
Yes. I'm not sure. The road policy does not mention anything about speed limits. I'm not sure if there's something in another town policy somewhere
That
that I'm
might be a
missing.
state, that might be a state one. Let me Google that really quickly.
You don't know, do you, Wade? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be covered under town ordinance.
Ron?
State's
Yeah.
not gonna
Dave Morris, isn't there something in our ordinances or something that says if it's dirt, it's 35? Right? Maybe Jim can speak to that.
So there's no single statewide speed limit for dirt roads in Vermont. Limits are set locally between 35 and 50 miles per hour, but can be lower if an engineering study is conducted.
Okay, traffic ordinance, not road ordinance. On the basis of traffic and engineering surveys, the following maximum speed limits are hereby established. Suter Road is not mentioned by name on here. I also do not see a general provision for dirt roads. They mentioned Cross Road, Lower Waterford Road, Duck Pond Road, Daniels Farm, East Village and Walsh and Hudson's, that covers East Waterford, and Lawrence Road, Old County, Duck Pond into Hale, High Ridge Road, Green School Road, Old Silo. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, any general 35 number. That just seems to be what all the dirt roads in town happen to have.
Do we want to change the policy and add that road?
It sounds like something we could add to the December 1 meeting. You think that would be a quick discussion?
Okay.
If we're gonna do that, should we check other roads that aren't covered there that maybe others that ought to be added?
That couldn't hurt. I'll take a look into that based on what I'm seeing delineated here. It could also just be that we insert a clause stating that any other, town-owned class 3 roads, not listed 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, make it
Yeah.
all inclusive instead of,
Yeah.
Unimproved road, 35.
yeah. We could do that if we so choose.
Okay. I'll take a look at wording of that and have something for.
Okay. David?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a gentleman.
Yep.
We live on Lower Waterford Road and we're located on the dog leg on the Bonnet line. And we have a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign sort of at the end of our driveway. And people they take a turn to go up the hill from where we live, or I don't know if anybody knows where Collins's place is and our place, where the shots. Anyway, if you're familiar with Waterford Road, there's a curve, it's some guardrailing as you head toward Barnett,
Yeah,
right before the Comerford Dam Road.
this is a big issue.
And the speed limit sign is for people traveling up the hill, so heading eastward on Lower Waterford Road.
Okay.
But the problem is, and we've been living with this problem for years, everybody drives off the road and falls in the ditch, and they come to our house in the middle of the night for help.
Yeah,
Because there's no sign, there's no warning about the car coming down the hill. The speed limit sign would be better served, or a curb sign or something, so people wouldn't keep flying off the road, especially in the winter.
actually,
It's a real problem.
solving this problem is that when they come down the hill, and particularly in the winter, this road is icy. And what happens is they go off the road towards the right, there's a ditch, and it's always wet. It needs to be dug out, and a 12-inch culvert connected to the drain that goes towards the river and backfill. So these cars will stay on the road, not come to my house at 2 o'clock in the
Well,
morning
that's
and
probably-
knocking on the door and say, could you help me?
It's because they're kids
It's kind of
always, and they're
disturbing.
driving too fast.
Yeah. And it's been going on for years. We've lived here for 33 years, and I need to tell you how many times we have to go out there and tell these people, no, you could use my cell phone and call a wrecker. And, it's kind of distressing. And
So-
the other question I have
is that the deterioration of this Waterford Springs Bridge, is there anything being done by the state to inspect this bridge?
Talking Cushman Bridge?
Yeah, yeah. It's coming apart like you won't believe. And we have logging trucks now going over this bridge and ruining our road. I don't know what you're gonna do about it. I don't know who's doing all the logging down here, but it's making an impact on our environment.
There's quite a bit of logging that's been done in Barnet, right?
No, but that's a mess.
Waterford Springs.
This is gonna be another mess.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just wondering if the logging there, if they were hauling up
Oh,
through.
yeah,
Yes, they did.
horrendous.
Tandem
The
trailers,
whole house would shake.
tandem trailers coming up and down that road.
You're referring to the bridge,
I wonder what the weight
The
restriction is
bridge
for the
leading into
bridge.
Waterford Springs.
the one over Chandler Brook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, gee whiz,
Can I get your names, please?
that's it.
Priscilla and Jim
Michaud,
Michaud, Michaud.
And just to get clear in my own mind, where we're talking about, is this right by the Waterford Barnet line?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, it's right where the town line ends, because I'm the last house in Waterford.
okay,
Collins' property is across the street. She has 91 acres there, but she doesn't live there part-time. We live full-time. We're across the street
okay.
on the water.
On the left as you're going towards
Yeah.
East Barnet.
Exactly.
Okay. I was familiar with that house.
One other issue too is that Valley View Road, up by Mrs. Wilson's farm. I don't know if Jimmy can do something about that, but that road, particularly in front of the barn, is constantly has manure and dirt and debris in it. And of course, her area where she has her trucks coming and going, there should be some gravel put down there or trap rock to prevent that erosion and going all over the place. It's just unsightly, and it's a washboard all through there. Jimmy will know that. He's probably been by there many times.
Okay, yeah, we received another complaint about that area.
Yeah,
From
I'm
another
sorry. I mean,
resident.
I'm just a citizen doing a legal life.
Somebody's gonna go down and talk to her, though.
Yeah, we're gonna, yes, and we're gonna have to do that again.
Oh, because you already did, right, Will?
Well, I attempted to, but no one was home. So in reality, no one has spoken to her. It might be at this point prudent to send a letter.
Okay.
They're not maintaining that as well as it used to be maintained.
Right.
I don't know if it's because of financial constraints or what, I have no idea, but they always used to maintain that coming off our road going into their silage, bunker, the silo. They used to have a nice area there that was gravel, so they could transition between that and the road.
Oh,
And they chewed it up, and they're not maintaining it the way they should, so they're dragging all that stuff out the road. I scraped it off, but then it continues to be a problem. And the same that's transferring over across into their barnyard as well. So it is an ongoing issue.
Going back to the first issue with the curve, is that something that we need to have engineering look at and tell us the
That's
solution
actually
for that?
not in Waterford.
I'm
The
sorry?
bottom of that curve is not in Waterford.
It's in Barnet. Bottom of the curve is in Barnet.
Well, just in looking at, like a geological survey map, because there's where Valley View Road hits the bottom, right? And then you come up this way to go to Waterford. There's like a little curve right here at the
It's a
bottom.
sharp 90-degree turn.
Okay, we're not
But then it kind of S's up, and then there's another sharp turn up there.
That's the curve.
Yeah.
You're talking about the one over the multi-plate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the one just past your house.
No, Jimmy, you know where the big culvert goes under the road there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, it's right on that ridge and where it turns.
Yeah.
That's where the soggy part of the road is and where people go off of it and get stuck.
Cause I've seen people that have gone off past your house headed down.
Yeah, we had one car that turned over there this year.
Yeah, completely.
What's the
And of course,
solution
there's
for
no
that,
police,
Jim?
no, nothing.
What's the solution for that? Do we need to get an engineer to look at that?
No, you don't need an engineer.
I-
Jimmy's the engineer. He knows how to fix that.
Yeah, and I also think that a big part of that is speed.
Yeah.
Maybe some signage,
Yeah.
I think signage, if you did some signage, maybe that might help.
Are you talking about,
One of those arrow
Arrows?
signs of a curve?
We have 3 arrow signs there.
Oh,
They make great target practice for people because they don't shoot at them. They've been replaced, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in my lifetime.
Or maybe like a
But, you
sharp
know,
turn ahead.
most of these big entrepreneurial cities have these wonderful stop signs now that are solar illuminated that says slow. Now, I don't know if that would help, but it's, or speed bump, that's another solution, but I don't think people would like that.
no, probably not.
Would it be possible to do a speed bump on a dirt
No.
road, Jen?
Not there.
It won't
Yeah.
You're in
last.
that corner, you're gonna accept a lot of liability.
A plow would take that out in the winter in no time, you know, something like that happens. The other thing too, I was questioning, do we employ a forester in the city, in this area? Do we have a forester that's a?
There is
no,
a,
we have a tree warden who's unpaid. We have a tree warden.
Unpaid
appointed.
tree warden. What does he do? Does he come to this town and do something?
He lives
He
in
lives
this
in the
town.
town.
He's
Do what?
appointed.
He
He
lives
lives in
in
this
town.
town. He's appointed by the select board each year.
Well, I was questioning the idea that here we're looking at these power lines and all these trees are hanging on them, dead trees. And something's gotta be done about that or we're all gonna be out of power or something's gonna happen this winter if we get a good blast. And, you know, I'm just trying to be proactive in a way to look at this objectively and say, look, we have a number of trees that should be taken down and removed from the tree belts. Now, the tree belt is what, 25 feet from the road, Jimmy?
I'm not sure on that.
Well, something like that maybe. But all these trees are lying around the place like that. It just doesn't look like.
So you're saying there are dead trees laying on power lines there currently?
Yes,
You can call Green Mountain Power, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd think so.
I don't know. I call them up and they turn a blind eye.
No, when the power goes out, they show up.
They
And then
show
cut
up,
the tree.
but they're not proactive.
No.
They're not proactive in looking at their system. And particularly our area, we have a lot of growth now coming up that hasn't been cut. I see they're doing a lot of it in Littleton. But we don't think about cutting these trees back to our power lines,
They used
protect
to.
our
They
infrastructure.
used to.
yeah, I don't know the answer, but I think it's the power. I think it's the utility
I don't know
companies.
who it is.
They used to be more proactive
Yes.
and send crews out and trim power lines and stuff. And then they money saving procedures. They thought that it was they were better off if they just handled everything on the,
Wait until it falls. kind of.
Exactly.
well, because we had pointed out, we did that in the past when the former road foreman was here. Waterford Springs is notorious for dead trees and stuff. We
Yeah,
pointed out several trees, we even put ribbon on the trees and told Green Mountain Power that these should be cut because they're gonna fall. If they fall at all, they're leaning towards the power line. If they fall, it's gonna create a problem. Their reply was that they would wait and see if they fell. So they didn't take a proactive approach. So there's really nothing from a municipal standpoint.
I think a letter to them might be in order to say that we, the town members here in Waterford Springs are concerned about, you know, the structure of our power lines with dead trees.
Constant power outages.
Yeah,
caused by dead
And
trees.
Constant.
a lot of them are outside the town right away.
Mm.
Yeah, and I know they do it some because I don't remember how many years ago. I don't know if it was on the portion of Old County South that you live on, David, but they had somebody they hired a few years ago to, oh, no, I think maybe I'm misremembering. I think that had to do with the,
Both Davy and the Splin have worked our area up here.
yeah,
Haven't seen them this year, but
No, but it wasn't too many years ago. They cut quite a bunch.
it's interesting, the problem down by, their house. Mother Nature provides speed bumps there most of the time. It's very washboardy on that corner.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Boy, sure it is. You should see the road now. Jimmy knows.
Potholing.
Okay,
I'll let David, he was.
yeah, okay, David.
Well, I've got a number of them, but, we're very happy with Mad Brook, Dave Morrison, Hannah. My question on that, and either for the two road commissioners on the board or maybe Jim, I was kind of expecting that they would drill that raised border on each side and put a little stub post there, bolted into the concrete, because that center span of guardrail is really quite unsupported, and if somebody were to hit it, they wouldn't have what you'd normally expect for rigidity. So you're a highwayman, you've got two road commissioners here. Jim, what's gonna go on there? Are they gonna?
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, because I didn't stop and look at it when they should have, but I didn't stop and look at it when they were doing it, but yeah, I was kind of surprised, either that or some fascia mounted, supports, but, well, I guess the way they've got the,
Yeah, all the posts are in dirt, there's no.
yeah, I know.
Nothing is secured to the concrete.
Oh, I know that. It just did, and I was gonna stop to see if they, what do they call it, nesting, when they put, additional, panels of guardrail to stiffen it when they can't, when they don't have that post in the center, but it does look like quite a span, and I can check with Nate Seacard to see, I'm sure it was the way it was designed, but maybe he can give me a good explanation. I can answer your question at the next.
I've got other concerns, but go ahead, Robin.
So I'm just following up on an email, Robin McLeany.
Yep.
A food pantry or something to support our neighbors. I know that there's people that are gonna be in need. I've spoken to teachers who routinely have to supply extra things for their students. I'm not really looking for, I'm looking for your guidance or thoughts if you think that there's anybody that's already doing something like this. I've done a little reconnaissance around town. I don't necessarily even know where it would go right now. But any thoughts or feedback on that?
Raven and I talked about that, the food issue, the food security issue in town. And we've got a lot of conflicting thoughts about that. But one thing we thought might be a really good idea was to make donations to the elementary, middle school to ensure that at least those kids were getting a lunch and weren't
Or
trying
something to support the teachers. The teachers oftentimes put the money up themselves, right? Even if it's for like coats or warm wear for the winter.
Yeah, I think looking after the kids would be a great place to start. That's what we're thinking about.
Yeah, and I don't even know, like, do you put it out in a cabinet, or do you put it in a refrigerator? But then, to be perfectly honest, there's bears, like, so it'd have to be inside, but if there's any that you want to provide for these people, then that's kind of a challenge.
Oh, you're talking about food collection. We were just talking
Well,
about
I am thinking of food
funds.
collection. I'm thinking about a lot of our neighbors who might not tap into resources in St. Johnsbury or even think to bring things up to St. Johnsbury, might be more inclined to do so if it was right in town. If they knew that they could go pick up their mail and use something. I know when I have like extra eggs for my chickens, there used to be a pantry or refrigerator right on Main Street that I would just drop a few things in. People have extra vegetables, just like a share, not just have to make anything, we're not at the point, we're not trying to like, I think that I know that there will be people in need and it's just gonna get worse and it's gonna continue to be something where we can't just rely on what's happening in St. J or at Hope or all that because they're already probably strapped. So I'm thinking, maybe I can tap into a few people around here who want to help. We can organize. I don't know what it looks like yet. I've got a few phone numbers of people that have done this in the past that I thought I would try to like pick their brains. But I guess there's nothing really going on that we're aware of in town. Okay.
Nothing
Use the
formally.
library for a drop-off point?
They could use the library, but yeah, you're right, like we could do it here. I was thinking of fridge, like if somebody could donate a fridge, but I don't see any outlets out there. Maybe we could get, like, if we really put a drive behind this, somebody could put an outlet out there. We could get a cabinet or something. But I'm not, like, literally my neighbor put his refrigerator on his deck this spring and a bear tore it off. So like that's a thing.
I did read your letter, but I'm sorry, with budget and
No, I know.
personnel
It just
stuff,
came to my mind, but I wanted to bring it
I
up.
thought it was a great idea.
I'm
I
not
just
really
have
asking,
no-
I'm just like putting it out there, if you guys think, I can tap a few people, see what we can come up with. I'd love to put resources on the website, so people understand where they can go, where they can bring things. Is there any harm in that?
I have no objection to it. I have no objection either.
Put up a note by the transfer station around here.
I'm just trying to think through the logistics. You're advocating for perishable goods that would need refrigeration.
Not all the time, it doesn't always have to be perishable. If, some of it will be, that's why I'm thinking fridge, but I'm also thinking just a little cabinet, or a little cabinet, I don't know, like.
Is it like,
I went down, like,
Is it
like,
like
maybe has to go downstairs, right?
it's like the take a book
Yeah.
idea?
Not that
The
small,
little-
right.
right.
Because there's a lot of people just on the cusp who aren't gonna get heat resources or food resources, that might just need something to carry them over. And then if they can, and maybe, like, I'm thinking probably right now, the best idea would be downstairs, next to the locker for the historical society, then it blocks that picture, and I don't know if anybody has like a super attachment to that. So those are just, that's about as far as I've gone with this.
And have that is somewhere where it can be monitored, because some people will take advantage of it.
You know what? Who cares? Like, if they're taking advantage of it, let's assume that they need it.
Yeah, if they need it.
Everybody needs a little bit, but they're not letting one take it all.
I'm not gonna police that, but I'll tell you what, like, just to put it out there, my insurances went up 700%, right? Like, there's gonna be people strapped that just can't make it work, and if we can do anything, I don't see why we're not.
Have you reached out at all to Caledonia Central Supervisory Union about possibly using, doing a similar effort out of the Waterford school?
Well, that was yes, I have not, but that would probably, besides downstairs, that's probably the best place.
Because those are the only two real indoor spaces
And I
in
just
town.
didn't know what the rules were for access, but I suppose anybody can go on there. I mean, I go there to play ball with my kid after school, so I guess it doesn't matter. Again, we're just thinking people that have, they could do it after hours, I suppose. The anonymity purchase of not being, pride comes in.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, if I could start there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, just for discussion. You don't mind, and I can send Will the information to put on the website.
Sure.
All
Do
right.
we have any active church in Waterford?
Well, we don't have an active church one.
No, I'm asking if we do.
No.
No.
Church.
Just
Does-
sold for $1.
Yeah.
Who owns that building? Does the town own the building?
No, Josh Oakley owns it.
Okay.
Yeah, where is he?
What's he doing these days with the property?
Not sure who
No,
that
he's
is.
out in Chicago doing a whole nother thing,
That's
and
good.
maybe the Rabbit Hill wants to buy it.
That staple needs a paint job real quick. Starting to deteriorate pretty bad.
It's gonna rot
Yeah.
away.
What's that?
Something needs to be done with that church building.
Be a great place for a town meeting. More room.
Yeah. We don't own it anymore.
It doesn't have a septic.
No, we didn't own it. We didn't own it before, excuse me.
Could have bought it for a dollar, right?
Yeah, we could have.
Back to Dave.
I think
Yeah, so, yeah, Robin,
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
David?
Yeah, Dave Morrison. At the October 27th meeting, we were still talking about insurance, and I think both Phil and Suki, mentioned this concept, but I'd just like to add a voice to it. There was more resistance than I thought to 100% insurance. It's been quite a few years since I was insured as an employee. But the thought was to look at it as a package, wages and benefits. And Wade made a good statement about, his personal experience as an employee of the state. And he isn't treated quite that well. So I would encourage you, as I think Sue said this, to think of the employee as a package, and if it's necessary, over time, to cut that, to 95, 90, even down to 80, I guess there was some statistics, at 80%. Just make the employee whole, cut that back so there's not so much resistance. The resistance was even on the board, it was 3-2 on both those votes. Make the employee whole by giving them more pay, more whatever, to make up for what the cut in insurance would be. And I take it from the conversation, it might have to be a gradual process over a few years, rather than just boom and do it. But if you make the employee whole, they're gonna be just as well off. So that's my thoughts on that one. Thank you.
Okay. Any other citizens' concerns? Okay. I guess next up is, we have motion to go
Make a
into
motion
executive
that we
session.
enter executive session.
I will second that.
A motion been made and seconded to go into executive session for personnel. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, we'll take a little
We enter
break.
at 7:45 PM. I'll send you